Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Juggernaut, and today I'm going to show you and explain to you how coalitions work within CK2 and how to abuse them, how to use them, how to avoid them, and how to do pretty much everything that you can do with coalitions. So, a bit of an intro before we begin. I have seen a lot of people, and I do mean a lot of people, complain that coalitions have ruined Crusader Kings 2 and that they need to be removed and so on and so forth. And there is a mod, actually, if you want to use it, that entirely removes Infamy from the game. That is this thing right here, which means coalitions can't be formed, like so. This is a fairly old save, if I'm honest, when I was still experimenting with Conclave and all that, and I'll be honest, this campaign with the Umayyads has gone a bit south, okay? This isn't perfect, it's a bit decadent, the territory isn't neatly as neatly organised as I would have liked it to be, but this serves as a perfect example for what I'm about to demonstrate, so I'm using this save. Again, playing as the Umayyads with 55% Infamy, which is why it perfectly demonstrates what I want to show you people. So, that said, as I said, there is a mod. If you don't like coalitions, you can use them. You can use that mod, but I'm going to show you that coalitions aren't really that bad if you know what you're doing. So, what are coalitions, first of all, for the very, very new, I don't want to say noobs, but for people very, very new to CK2 or this DLC, or for those that haven't bought the DLC yet. So, coalitions, basically, I'm going to explain it in just a couple of sentences very quickly for you guys. It's this. I invade France. Let's just imagine for a second that I have this claim of invade France, or invade Middle France, or invade Burgundy. Actually, I'm going to invade Burgundy next. So, I declare war, I take over Burgundy, and all of a sudden my empire grew by many, many duchies and a lot of territory, okay? The other nations in the world, especially the bigger powers, are going to notice this, right? And my infamy is going to go up. What is infamy? It basically means how hated you are? Feared, hated, something in between, right? Essentially, it stops you from expanding too quickly, and if it's above 25%, coalitions against you will form. Now, the only way to increase infamy, well, the most common way to increase infamy, as I said, is expansion. I think there are a couple of other ways, but I think it's tied in with some very, very unique and rare events, and those events increase your infamy by like 1 or something like that. So, it's completely irrelevant. Like, the way you increase infamy is through conquest. And people are now complaining because they can't steamroll absolutely everything within 20 years, which, in my opinion, again, is a good thing. But we're not here to criticize anyone or anything. I'm here to explain to you how these things work. So, coalitions. I have 55 infamy because I invaded the south of France. And made a kingdom out of it and gave it to this guy, and so on and so forth. But now there's a coalition against me. Asturias, France, Mercia, Wessex, and a whole Lombardy and a whole bunch of other people are in a coalition against me. If you've ever played EU4, you know how deadly coalitions are. Well, they're not in this game. My infamy at one point, in this campaign, not as this Sultan, but as this one, Abd al-Rahman, was 99. Abd al-Rahman took over this piece of land, right? His son inherited him like 30 years old or something like that. So yeah, it takes a while for the infamy to go down, though not as much as you might think. It goes down fairly quickly, more or less. But it was at 99%. The thing you need to remember is, the key thing you need to remember, is that the coalition of however many nations are in a coalition against you can't attack you. You, the target of the coalition, in this particular instance the Umayyad, are the only entity, or the only kingdom, I suppose, not empire in this situation, but the only state that can initiate a war between the coalition and the target of the coalition. What does that mean? France doesn't get a CB against me, or not France, but the ruler of France, King Robert the Shadow. Okay, that's that's a cool name, King Robert the Shadow. I don't think I've ever seen that. Probably have, but forgot about it. But I haven't seen that in a while, anyways. So France doesn't get a CB against me. We can check, if we go ahead and type in play and then the character ID for Robert, we can check that. Nobody here gets a CB against you. How does a coalition work? Well, essentially, the gist of it is, if I were to declare war against someone within a coalition against me, for example, Asturias, the other coalition members would have reason to join in. As well as other Christians, because it's a Holy War CB, but if I go Conquest, then... no, or de jure claim is even better, there we go. The other members of the coalition now can join in. What about other nations? What about Africa? Well, I think the Sultan of Africa is my ally. Yes, he is. Let's see, who isn't in the coalition against me? There's a few people. The Byzantines, okay. The Byzantines aren't in a coalition against me. I can declare a holy war for Sardinia or Mallorca or whatever. Sardinia, let's say, for example. The coalition doesn't give a fuck. My infamy would rise, and I apologise for the language. Uncalled for, really. My infamy would rise after I take over Sardinia, and sure enough, maybe other countries like Serbia here, or Bavaria... Is Bavaria in a coalition against me? No. Maybe, or Saxony, maybe they would join in a coalition against me, because my infamy would, at that point, would be like... I need to sit down and calculate it, but I think like 70, 80, something like that. So yes, then I would be a bit more feared in the world, and they might hate me more and join in a coalition against me, but they can't attack me. The only thing the coalition does is a little bit artificially stops me from expanding. It isn't a threat to your kingdom, or duchy, or county, or empire, or whatever your title is. Right? It isn't a threat to you. You're a threat to it. Okay? Even if this coalition, and like, they don't have that many troops. He has 7,000, Mercia has 3, Wessex has 5,000, you have, what, 2, about 40,000, 50,000 men maybe totally in the coalition, about 30,000 actually. I could probably beat that coalition as it is right now. I'm not going to because it's stupid and actually Lombardy is in there as well. Where's the king of Lombardy? 4,000 men. Yeah, it might be like 25 to 30,000 men in the coalition in total. I can probably beat that. The thing is, they can't attack me. They have no CBs to attack me. And if France was to attack me at this instant, go, oi, I don't like the fact that you've taken over all of this, the only persons that would join would be their allies. They don't have any. The non-aggression pact people wouldn't join, and as you can see here in the pacts, they're in a coalition against me. They're not allied to everyone else. So if I were to attack, if they were to attack me, the other coalition members wouldn't join them. Unlike in EU4. So, how do you get around that? Can you abuse coalitions? A little bit. You can join coalitions against others. For example, there actually isn't an example right now in the world, but about a year ago or so, I believe, no, about 5 years ago in game time, the Byzantines conquered a bunch of land from Bulgaria. Their infamy went up to 70-something. Actually lost some land in the meantime. Serbia, I think, also took over some of the land from them. Infamy at 0, might not have. I don't actually remember that much. It's been a while since I played this, but there was a coalition against them, and I joined it, even though I couldn't care less that the Byzantines attacked the Bulgarians or the Muslims over here or whatever. even though I should care, because, yeah, historical ties and all that, but I joined the coalition against them just to stop them from expanding, and it worked, kind of. It just slowed them down. I didn't get a CB, nobody joined me, I wasn't going to join anyone attacking them, so on and so forth. The Russians also had a CB, sorry, not a CB, a coalition against them as well, but it's gone now. So, what happens if you really, really want to attack something and there's a big-ass coalition against you? Well, you attack someone that isn't in the coalition. The Byzantines, for example. And if this person, the Byzantines, has a coalition against them already in place, then you fighting them all of a sudden makes a whole load of sense, because they can't attack anyone, and you can't attack anyone, but you sure as hell can attack them. There we go. If you have any questions regarding the coalitions, I would be very happy to answer them. Put them down in the comments, and then you shall have your answers. But a couple of more, I guess, more in-depth details about the infamy mechanic and the coalitions and all that. The infamy counter is not tied to your character for game balance reasons. So if I were to actually let's go balls to the walls, okay? Who cares? This is why I don't play on Iron Man, by the way, because I can use saves to show stuff like this. So let's say my infamy is at 55% right now. This is not the infamy of the character. Again, he inherited this infamy from someone else, from what was his name, Abdallah Rahman. He inherited it from him. So if my character were to die, 516 199. There we go. My infamy would still be 55. Okay? So it isn't tied to your ruler, it's tied to the realm. What if you change your primary, holding? Let's find out, I suppose. Welcome to Northumbria. Northumbria into England, into Britain, into the rest of the world. That's how the campaign is called. I just added infamy, 100 of it. And there it is. Okay, let's let a bit of time tick by. Like so. So coalition is formed already, correct? Yes, let's wait for a couple of more members to join the coalition. There we go. There's people in the coalition already. So, what if we change our primary title? Well, let's see. What do we need to create the Kingdom of England? Money, right? Create the Kingdom of England, and all of a sudden, make this your primary title. Okay. Nope. Hashtag nope. Here we go. It changed. The infamy counter didn't. Boom. Yeah, still there. So changing your primary title doesn't help either. You can't break the game in that sense, although I do see why you would try and why it might make sense. But it's tied to the holdings you control, it's tied to the conquests that you, the player, make, or, you know, the AI makes. Not to any specific title or any specific character. Okay, that explained, moving on. What if you really, really dislike someone? Let's say I really hate his guts. Kinda do, actually. Yeah, infidel. Reason enough. I really hate his guts, and I want to form a coalition against him and own him. Check his infamy. Nope, not high enough, sorry. You cannot start a coalition unless he has 25 infamy. Coalitions are not this magical button to let you pwn someone or have someone pwn you. It's a mechanic implemented to stop you from steamrolling everything. It's as simple as that. You hate this guy's living guts, you can ask for a crusade against him, or an invasion or something like that. There goes the voice. Sorry. You can do something like that, but you can't just form a coalition against him because you hate him. That's not the way it works. Is that everything? That's everything that comes to mind. I think I explained the coalitions rather well. Again, don't panic if you run into something like this and start looking at the coalitions map and seeing something like this appear all over Europe. Right? Don't panic. That is a bloody phone. Okay, don't ignore the ringing in the background. You actually might not be able to hear it. Probably not. I don't know. Don't be scared if you see something like this happening across Europe. Now, all of Europe turning red, basically, and yeah, this. Don't worry if something like this happens to your campaign. I've seen people go, oh, like, there's half of Europe is in a coalition against me, time to end the campaign, you know, I failed. You didn't. You really didn't. Just wait. Well, he's 50. If he lives to 70, the 100 infamy is gonna go away. Yeah. There we go. It decays by 0.25 per month, so you can calculate how long it's going to take. Basically, 400 months for 100 infamy. Yeah. Am I right? Yes, I assume so. There we go. Oh, one more thing. The way to reduce your infamy, if you really, for some reason, really need to reduce your infamy, although I don't see why, is to... Where is it? Okay, yeah, up here. Okay. You can give independence away to people, right? And that will reduce your infamy if they're a big enough vassal. For example, this if I give him independence, it isn't going to impact anything. But if I give... Can I give you independence? I'm assuming I can. Nope. Because they're a Catholic de jure vassal. Okay, you can't give you independence either. But yeah, if I were to give one of my bigger dukes, or kings, even if I had an empire, away to give their independence, if I were to give them independence, sorry, then that would reduce my infamy by a lot. Why you want to do that, I have no clue, but it's an option, so yeah, you can make that mistake if you want to. And there we go. I think that's about it. As I already said, if you have any questions, the comment section is down there for you. And yep, my name has been Juggernaut, and until next time, take care. Bye bye.